about Star Wars Galactic Racer because unlike the movies and TV shows, I haven't completely given up on Star Wars video games because honestly, a lot of them are pretty decent. They may not be amazing, some of them, or some of them are, to be honest with you, but some of them are pretty decent. And this one has had my attention ever since I saw it. I think it was like, I forgot which show it was. Summer Games Fest. I don't really remember. Probably even before that, maybe the Game Awards. But this game looks pretty cool. And I need to have a palate cleanser. So let's check out Star Wars Galactic Racer. This is a 10-minute breakdown video showcasing some gameplay never before seen. And this is really going to decide, my level of interest in this game moving forward. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you guys want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join me every single day, 9 p.m. over on the main channel, where you can catch me live every single day, 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see every single one of you there. Now back to the main video.
If you ask me, Disney's been pretty smart in recent years about its Star Wars video games. Instead of relying solely on its small group of internal development teams, as it did a long time ago in a gaming galaxy far, far away, or signing an exclusivity deal with one single publisher, as it did last decade with EA, the mouse now hands its licenses, Star Wars included, to absolutely anyone with a great pitch.
Really good.
And we've already had one Game of the Year caliber masterpiece come out of this strategy. That would be 2024's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle from the Riddick and Wolfenstein veterans at Machine Games. And so, when Lucasfilm first announced Star Wars Galactic Racer earlier this year as a collaboration with developer Fuse Games, who counts a number...
Bro, Oliver Adams says something so accurate. Can you imagine an F-Zero like this? Man. Dude, I want an F-Zero so bad. Like, if they did a modern F-Zero video game, I think that would actually be a system seller for me. That would be a system seller for me, bro. I swear. I would, dude, unless, but it wouldn't come out on Steam, obviously, Nintendo. So yeah, I would absolutely, that would be amazing, bro.
Number of Burnout alumni in its ranks, my optimism immediately skyrocketed. A Star Wars racing game made by people who have some of the best arcade racers ever made under their belts? Yes, please. And now that I've finally had the chance to play Galactic Racer, I don't need to search my feelings because I already know it to be true. This high-speed roguelite, more on that in a bit, racer...
Is this thing a roguelite? Oh my god, bro. Don't ruin it. Don't fucking ruin it, bro. Just make it a high speed, like super high speed racer, chaotic like that. Oh man! All right, let's let him explain.
It's an absolute blast.
Welcome to Durban Acos.
Why does everything gotta be a fucking roguelite?
Are born and losers annihilated.
The setup is simple. You're Shade, a semi-willing participant in the galaxy's renegade racing circuit, out amongst the Outer Rim, where rules and laws are more like requests and polite suggestions. I say semi-willing because Shade would rather lay low and avoid Kestar Bool, a powerful enemy who has both the means and enough pettiness in his bones to make your life difficult if you get in his way. But that eventually leads you to, in turn, want to knock Bool off his comfy perch. And so you'll race speeder bikes, skim speeders, land speeders, and yes, pod racers in a series of events in order to advance up the ranks and through the entire circuit to get to the top spot.
Yes.
Galactic Racer builds this in a roguelite loop that, if I'm being honest, I was extremely skeptical about prior to playing it for myself. My first thought was, don't we have enough roguelites out there already? The answer is still probably yes, but to Fuse
yes, the answer is only yes. The answer is only yes. Like, we have too many fucking roguelites out there. Developers are relying on the roguelite loop to make up for the fact that their video games don't actually have enough content to keep people interested. So they rely on the roguelite loop in order to justify the lack of content and to say, yeah, you could get 50 hours to 100 hours out of this game when it's really like a 4-hour video game. I hate it so much. I really do. So depending on the mechanics, obviously, because again, I gotta hear them out. But depending on the mechanics, we'll see how it works. But I can't stand it.
Credit, how they've wrapped the roguelite template around Galactic Racer makes a ton of sense. You customize your character, make your vehicle your own through earned cosmetic unlocks, and most importantly, build your ride to your preference with the gameplay affecting abilities that you earn through winning races. But the Outer Rim is a ruthless place, and this circuit isn't one for second chances, so you can only race by earning a league token. If you lose it in one of the Eliminator races you'll inevitably come upon during your run, and yes, they operate exactly the same as Burnout's Eliminator races, in which the last place driver is disqualified from the competition at the end of each lap, you'll have to start the run all over again. But in classic roguelite fashion, you'll be able to bring anything you've previously unlocked to the table as you have another go at it. And the Eliminators are no joke, I should add.
You seriously added fucking cards to a racer game? Oh god. I know it's existed out there before. I know, but it's like you just made this pretty damn unappealing. Like I just wanted a fucking straightforward racing high speed racing video game, which to be fair, the gameplay does look pretty good. I'll admit, the gameplay looks good, high speed. Really like it. I like the environments, the customization of the ship so far. That's cool. But bro, you really putting roguelite elements into this shit? Why, bro? Why? Why was this necessary?
In my 45-minute hands-on time, I did the first race or two in my run after customizing my character and then jumping right in, but then immediately hit my first Eliminator. I got too aggressive going for a takedown in one early race turn and ended up putting myself into the wall near the end of a lap, without enough time to get back out of last place before I got eliminated. Oh, and the takedowns, by the way, are exactly as you remember them from Burnout, right down to using a nearly identical camera angle when you see the slow motion wreck.
Oh shit.
Did everyone see that?
See, that's cool.
Anyway, I had to start the run again from scratch.
So I guess that's the roguelite element, right? That's the roguelite element. Not necessarily the losing your stuff and keeping like whatever you had before. It's the fact that you got to start the whole thing over from essentially scratch, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
Quickly learned that the CPU Racer AI means business in Galactic Racer. I was stunned to have been bounced from the tournament so quickly, but honestly kind of impressed. It made me steel myself for the next run where I did a heck of a lot better.
Put up a fight next time.
But I'm getting a
I feel like they're just essentially taking modern terms, like roguelite wording, and trying to apply it to certain things that have already existed in racing games before. But you know, maybe I'm going crazy.
little ahead of myself.
I'm a little bit confused. I'm not gonna lie to you on this. I'm a little confused. And this is what I mean. Like, it should just be straightforward. It should be as straightforward as possible. I wonder how this is gonna is any of this gonna be affected in multiplayer? I hope multiplayer is straightforward. At the very fucking least, multiplayer should be straightforward. Don't put all this extra shit in it.
More to say about the racing portion of Galactic Racer, obviously. I want to give props to the on-foot sections that you'll experience between races. In them, you roam around each planet's paddock. Think of these kind of like the infield areas of a NASCAR race, and can talk to fellow racers, upgrade your ship with Hebe the monkey-like mechanic, tweak your character's or vehicle's appearance, or chat with the organizer of this whole thing, Darius Pax, a big voice, big personality creature who sounds a bit like he's channeling Danny DeVito's Penguin from Batman Returns.
Bro, that mustache is crazy, bro. Crazy mustache.
Of course. And your timing is impeccable as always.
When you're ready to hit the track, you have a couple of interactive moments that can give you an initial gameplay advantage. The first is your ignition sequence. Regardless of what vehicle type you're piloting, if you successfully hit the prompted button sequence in the brief window of time allotted, you'll begin the race with a bonus, like your afterburner being primed and or your shield being fully charged up and ready to deploy right at the starting line.
That's
I'll
cool.
note that the sequence was the exact same in every single one of my races, so hopefully they're all randomized in the final October 6th release just to keep me on my toes a bit more. And
It's kind of like Helldivers stratagems.
the second pre-race opportunity is to surge out of the starting gates, Mario Kart style, by keeping your throttle in the middle of the 3 zones of the on-screen meter as the green flag figuratively drops. In these high-speed races that can be won or lost in a second or two, that initial moment matters more than you might guess.
Bro, you purposely ran into the wall, brother. You purposely ran
Okay,
into
yes,
the wall.
properly nailing your ignition sequence is important, but what really makes or breaks your race is how frequently and effectively you use your abilities. I only saw a couple of them during my hands-on time, but there are plenty of them to unlock, and they'll allow you to craft a pretty bespoke build for your vehicle. Take the aforementioned shield, for instance. If you're bunched up tight in a cluster of fellow racers, you can be sure that at least one of them will try to shunt you into the nearest wall. Nailing the timing on your shield ability so that it's active when that takedown attempt comes, and before running out of juice and needing to recharge via cooldown timer, can save you from a fate of having to be blotted off the track's walls with handy wipes.
Like I said, this game needs to be fast-paced. The gameplay needs to be aggressive. Like you have to feel like you're out there actually pod racing. Like it's got to be fast, it's got to be aggressive. And if the gameplay is interesting in that regard, you could pretty much hook people. I think you'll hook people with it. But again, this game is competing in a world with like your Mario Karts, your Sonic Racing Cross Worlds and shit like that. A lot of the mechanics that I see in this game similar to Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, obviously, which is also similar to Mario Kart. So it's like you're competing in that world. But I think that the brand and the customization of the ships and whatnot will be enough to make it stand out. Even though like you can customize your cars, obviously in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, it's very limited, but you can still do it. So depending on how like in depth the customization is in this game, that'll be pretty cool. So hopefully they do that.
The other one I used extensively during my hands-on session was Ramjet, which sadly I don't have footage of here. It's functionally the same as an afterburner, with the key difference being that you can keep the extra push of speed going past its cooldown point at the risk of pushing it too far and having your craft explode. I earned some modifiers for this as I played, including one that would reduce ramjet consumption by 50% while in midair, meaning
I mean, this
on
game
a
looks
jump,
fucking
since
gorgeous,
of course
bro. Look at that
all
shit.
of these Star Wars
Holy
racing
fuck.
vehicles are technically in midair all the time. The tracks, meanwhile, vary from short to
It looks
long
so
and from
good, man.
hot to cold, depending on which planet they're located. Jakku doesn't have any temperature concerns, but Lantana has patches of magma on track that will overheat your vehicle if you're not careful,
That's
while
cool.
Ando Prime is an ice world where you'll need to zip through conveniently placed heating tunnels in order to not get fully frozen over and thus
Oh.
slowed down.
That's cool.
On all of
I
them,
like that.
knowing when to drift is crucial, particularly on tracks that have shortcuts accessed by hitting those borderline hairpin turns just right, as is making sure you are never sitting on a full reserve of afterburner. Between constantly boosting, drifting, avoiding environmental hazards, finding shortcuts, taking down rivals, and avoiding them taking you down,
Oh.
there's plenty in this arcade racer to keep you on your toes at all times.
Now this is pod racing.
Yeah, that looks fun.
The developers purposely allotted me time to experience pod racing at the end of my demo
I did
in
see
an
a multiplayer
arcade
tab.
mode outside of the regular roguelite circuit. I'm glad they let me get my sea legs under me first, because the pod racers proved to be a much more difficult space horse to tame. They're much faster than the other vehicles while also being a heck of a lot more fragile. Not to mention that the track I pod raced on was Tatooine, which included a particularly harrowing narrow canyon run where one wrong move would turn me into a stain on the canyon walls.
Fucking destroyed.
Once I get more comfortable with pod racing in the full game, I definitely want to play around with the camera angles. There's a cockpit view that looks especially
That's
cool
sick.
on the pod racer,
That's sick.
but requires your reflexes to be even quicker.
Dude, like that viewpoint would be fucking nauseating, bro. In certain scenarios, it would be so nauseating.
All in all, not only were my fears of the roguelite loop unfounded, but the burnout roots baked into developer Fuse Games' DNA was joyously evident in every moment that I spent on the track with Star Wars.
Playing that in VR, oh my god,
Galactic
crazy,
Racer. And the times that I wasn't going hundreds of miles per hour when I was on foot did a great job of further Star Warsifying my experience. I'm incredibly optimistic about what I've seen from this long overdue spiritual successor to Episode 1 Pod Racer, and I can't wait to play more of it.
Listen, I think the gameplay looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I think it looks pretty good. And the only thing that's a little concerning, I don't know if it's like a mixture of what this guy is trying to describe the game as, but the way that he described like the whole supposed roguelite elements and stuff, that's a little bit annoying, not gonna lie to you. But as long as it's out of the multiplayer, it doesn't affect the multiplayer in that way. And there also is an arcade version where you can kind of take all that shit out of it. I think it looks like a solid racer. I think it looks good. And I would definitely be playing it for sure. I will be checking it out and racing. I might even race against some of you guys like we did with Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I think that'll be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm so tired of everything being a roguelite though. Yeah, I agree. Deku, I agree. Like everything in their mother being a fucking roguelite is so annoying. But yeah, Secret Final Boss, I will still review it. Yeah. I absolutely. It so far it looks pretty damn solid from the actual core gameplay, viewpoint in terms of the actual gameplay itself, the speed of it, the aggressiveness of it, the actual worlds, the maps and stuff. Like it looks really, really good. So, but that's the thing. Like the Star Wars video games tend to do much more respect to Star Wars than the actual shows and movies, which is crazy. But I mean, that's just what it is. And if anything, they're at least a lot more fun. So that looks pretty cool. I will definitely check it out. But the roguelite stuff definitely has me a little concerned. So we'll see how that turns out. And I will definitely let you guys know, obviously, when the day comes.